Welcome to Top 5, a show where we slash it, we slide it, we sidle on up to it, all these things. They're side dishes. How you doing? This week on Top 5.
Good as hell, thanks.
Yeah. So side dishes, there's a wide variety of things you can put in as a side dish. Apple pie is not one of them. I did look that up.
Right. And the one that my wife suggested, I knew I couldn't do. She's like, well, you really like ribs as a side dish. I'm like,
yes.
Steven's still mad at me about the one from 7 years ago. If I tried ribs.
I was waiting for someone to say, yes, I would like some ribs or half a turkey, right. A side of chicken wings. Yeah, that those are not traditionally known as your side dishes. But Matthew, I am very interested to find out what your number 5 side dish really is.
My number 5 side dish is one of the greatest things that traditionally comes in a Thanksgiving dinner, at least in the families where I'm eating Thanksgiving dinners. It combines the salty and a little bit of crunchy and a little bit of just kind of a textury thing. The whole mess is when it's done right, it's perfect. Green bean casserole.
Mm-hmm. That's a good one.
You take your green beans and you take some mushroom soup. You take a little bit of soy sauce. You mix that all up. Then you cover it with the crunchy onions.
Mm-hmm.
Then you bake the whole mess, and it gets really good. It's kind of a lasagna sort of texture with the big crunchiness on top. But you can't necessarily just walk into a restaurant and order it. That's what's frustrating.
Unless you go to Alice's restaurant, and then you can get anything you want.
Excepting Alice. But we have a local grocery store that has a huge, enormous buffet where the elderly people can go and eat. And I don't say that to be cruel or awful. It literally is. They have the CHAMPS program. It's a state program where you can come in, and if you're of a certain age, I think if you're on Social Security, you get a discount. And so they have this huge array of things where people can come in and they can literally get a nice hot meal and not have to clean and cook and do all of the things, It's actually a really cool program. And if you go in there every once in a while, you get lucky. And they'll have the green bean casserole. It's never quite crunchy. It's always squishy. But the flavor profile is there, and it's really good.
Yeah, because those crunchy onions will cut up the gums of the elderly.
Well, and also if you put them in a steam tray under a glass hood, they just everything gets squishy.
Yeah.
That's why the meat is always soft and tender. It's been there for 17 weeks.
I figured that would be higher on your list, so I'm more interested to see what else you have on the list. But Rodrigo Lopez is here. And Rodrigo always has some interesting answers. What is your number 5 side dishes?
My number 5 side dish is crab rangoon, which is something that I used to always get when I got Chinese food.
Yeah.
And we're talking like, fast foody Chinese food type stuff, like your Panda Express type situation. It's great. It's basically just a vehicle for cream cheese. Supposedly there's crab in there, but it's like cream cheese in a fried pastry, essentially.
Yeah, wonton, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like what could be better than that? Nowadays, I don't really get them anymore because amongst Chinese food, they're particularly salty and fatty, and that causes me problems. And furthermore, I've kind of, I've got a current moratorium on Chinese food in general, just because it's really looking like anytime I have anything at a Chinese restaurant, it just triggers my migraines because it's like just so incredibly salty.
Yeah.
So I think fondly back on crab rangoons, but until I can figure out a better situation to be in, they're kind of a phantom treat for me.
Yeah. So my number 5 is sweet potatoes, but it's in how the sweet potato is prepared. I like sweet potatoes just by themselves, but lately we've been getting like 3 or 4 sweet potatoes, and then I'll peel them and then cube them into little bite-sized cubes. Throw them on a baking sheet, cover them with a little bit of olive oil, and then salt and pepper, and there may be one other seasoning, but those are the 2 main. And then I just bake them up for a long time until they get nice and crispy on the outside from the oil. and they are delicious. You don't even need any butter with them. They're basically sweet potato fries, but more like a hash because of the cube size. Not even hash, but just cubed sweet potatoes.
Cubes.
And
Cube
they
potato cubes.
are delicious. And I made them, and I figured the boys would turn their nose up at them. But I was just like, give it a try. And one of them was like, is this a sweet potato? And I'm like, yep, give it a try. And he ate it. And you kind of see a look on his face. And then suddenly it was like, oh, this isn't too bad. More of this, please. And so we've had this like 4 or 5 times in the last month.
I love it when you imitate your children.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yes, Father. I am very happy to be here in our home.
It's like,
They
before
should
I gave
be.
them the sweet potato, Pokemon, afterwards, Father, may I have another serving, please?
exactly. That is exactly how it is right here in the Schleicher
We
household.
thank you for the life-giving substance, Father.
I have to remind
May
them
we
they
get
should be
your
thanking
pipe
me
and
for the
slippers?
life-giving sustenance.
Yeah,
All right, but that is my number 5 is the cubed sweet potato baked just right. Oh, so tasty. And that brings us back around to Matthew's number 4.
That, by the way, is the complete name. If you don't have Oh So Tasty,
I know,
it's
right?
not correct.
Yeah.
Interestingly, as you will see, the green beans are not the only vegetable on my side dish list. And it's interesting to me because I believe the technical term for a person my size is fatter than holy hell. That's actually the medical term. But a lot of times I really, really love a nice vegetable. And then sometimes I want my number 4. My number 4 is a very complex dish in some ways, because if you go around the universe, there are a lot of places that'll serve you a French fry.
Oh, yeah. Venus is the best.
Yeah, Venus has good French fries. I like
Over by the
McDonald's
Andromeda
French
Galaxy.
fries
Yeah.
because the McDonald's French fries are nice and crispy, and if you get them hot, they're like thin and lovely.
Mhm.
I like the Burger King French fries, which are more thick cut. I really love a nice crinkle cut French fry. But if you want a perfect French fry, you must do 2 things to that fry.
Go to Freddy's.
You must cover it in chili, and then this is important. You cannot skip this step. It is imperative. You must then cover that chili with cheese. My number 4 is chili cheese fries. Specifically, the chili cheese fries that I usually get are from Sonic Drive-In,
Yeah.
which thankfully I think is finally expanding past the Midwest, but for a long time was
Yeah,
a
it's-
Midwestern thing.
Yeah, it's been down in the South for 20, 30 years, and it's I think down in Arizona.
We have them here in the.
Yeah.
In
You have them now?
So they're all over the place after those 2 guys do their ad-libbing thing in the car ads.
Yeah.
Really expanded that place.
Teddy and AJ, whatever the heck their names
Yeah.
are. But Pete and AJ, that's what it is. But a chili cheese fry does not have to be from Sonic, but it does have to have chili. Ideally, I'm not a chili purist, but ideally an all-meat chili. Not like a chili, the Texas style chili, not anything with beans or like celery, for God's sake. Who puts celery in chili? I'm still mad about this. 25 years I have been out of Fort Hays State University, but the dormitory puts celery in the chili, and I'm going to blow a gasket about it, and I'm 49 years old. But here's the thing. A nice chili cheese fry. You get the nice crisp fries. You get the chili with some meaty texture. You get the cheese on top for that all-important salt and fat. I mean, if you're a listener to Major Spoilers, you should know that we run on 4 things. There's salt, there's fat, there's sugar, and there's just pure irrational hatred. Those are the 4 food groups of Major Spoilers, and 3 of them are combined in my number 4, chili cheese fries. If only
So
you
much-
had something-
so
if
much
you put
hate.
Celery, you get all 4.
Yeah.
That's true. Irrational hatred. There you have it. So put celery in my chili at your own peril, ladles and jelly spoons. But I will tell you, chili cheese fries are where it's at.
All right. Rodrigo, what do you have on your number 4 list?
My number 4 is also fries, but for me, my preferred type of French-style potato fry are very
The
thin
papas
fries,
fritas, if you will.
like very, very thin, kind of toothpicky fries. And the best ones I've had are, in fact, from Freddy's frozen custard.
Mm-hmm.
We had one in Hayes, and it's a favorite restaurant for my wife. So anytime we're anywhere near a state that has one, we usually take a detour. We were
You ever
visiting
wake up-
my
You ever wake up in the middle of the night and say, I hear Idaho has a Freddy's. Let's go.
I mean, literally, Idaho does have a Freddy's, and she was thinking about it.
They are good. Those are some of the best French fries I've ever had.
Yeah. We drove, we went to visit my parents in Columbus, and we drove to Dayton to go to Freddy's.
Man.
Also, to see like the Wright-Patterson Air Force Museum, blah, 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 but mostly to go to Freddy's. And, because we both like it. I do like their burgers, but I really like their fries. And, I don't mind thicker fries. I don't mind your like big old steak fries. But definitely for me, my preferred type of fry are like little thin ones.
Yeah.
You should tell your wife who adores me and vice versa that I literally live 2 minutes from a Freddy's. So if you can get here, there are all the Freddy's fries that you can afford.
I mean, she used to live in a town where she could basically walk to a Freddy's, and the shock of not being that close to a Freddy's, she's had to make do with Steak and Shake, which I like Steak and Shake a lot, but it's like she can tell the difference. It's like, I don't know, it's like that.
It's similar,
like that gif of a dog where they like hold a tomato up to it and it just like kind of turns its face.
Yeah,
that's what eating at Steak and Shake with my wife is like.
Yeah. All right, that is a great one, Rodrigo. I'm going to now slide over to my number 4, and I'm like the only one in my household that will eat this, which is sad that the rest of my family can't get on board with the greatness. I guess I see a pattern here. I love potato salad, so we've got all our number 4s have potatoes in them, except maybe the Burger King fries. I don't know what those are made out of.
Those are actually made out of meat.
Oh, there you go. That's why they taste funny. But I really like a nice chunky potato salad with celery, by the way, Matthew.
Celery in a potato salad is justifiable.
Yeah.
Are you talking like a mustard
now,
potato
here's the
salad
thing.
Or something German?
No. I'm not a fan of the German potato salad. Give me a nice mustard potato salad, and I am happy. Some deviled egg, not deviled egg, but a hard-boiled egg cut up in there with some celery and some chunks of potato and the mayo and the mustard for the binding, and probably I think raw egg or something that's in there as well.
Some pickle and some red onion.
Yeah, man, I will eat that stuff up. But no one else in the household likes potato salad, German, mustard, plain or otherwise. So it's a rarity that I get to have potato salad. But when I do, oh boy, watch out, because I'm going to be complaining about being backed up for the next week.
God.
But potato
I didn't
salad.
think that was what you were going to say to watch out for, but I thought it was going to be equally vulgar. So, I mean, we're on the same gastrointestinal level there.
Yes. Potato salad
is kind of a rare dish because it's like sour.
Yeah.
And it's so rare to have as part of your meal something that's like straight up sour. That basically it's like the mustard and the like pickled stuff like the dill or whatever.
But if you have it with a hamburger, if you have it with a hot dog, if you have something that has, I guess, enough salt on it, salty stuff, like a fast food hamburger or something like that. Hot dogs are full of sodium. That potato salad really balances it out. And if you get I'm not one that thinks that the potatoes in a potato salad have to be basically raw or just blanched to go into a potato salad. I kind of like them a little bit soft so that you can kind of let that kind of mush up in your mouth as you're eating it. And then you have a little bite of hot dog or hamburger with it. And it is great.
Yeah,
so
if you get the kind with the really, really crisp pickle and crunchy onion, that's good because you have the textures all running around.
Yeah.
You guys still have like a Dillon's or a Kroger type market?
Yeah.
The Dillon's has an incredible mustard potato salad.
That's the one that I like. That is the one that I really, really like. The Walmart brand, not very good, though. But
almost on my list. It was this close to my list.
The Dillon's potato salad. I mean, their deli section, I mean, for the people that have Kroger's and Dillon's, because they're all over the United States, if you got a good deli section, their potato salad, really pretty good. So there you go. My number 4, potato salad on my top 5 side dishes. Matthew, we are now hitting our number 3s, and this is where things could start to get a little close. I think that might be a little bumping here and elbows rubbing as we get closer and closer to our number 1s. We might have some duplicates, but what do you have for your number 3?
I don't think we're going to have as many duplicates as you
No,
think.
because there's a lot of side dishes all over the place.
One of my favorite side dishes, my number 3, in fact, is a dish that no one else in my house really likes. And I have a vegetarian child, and it's a vegetable. And even she's like, I could maybe do without the Brussels sprouts.
Oh, yeah.
But the thing about a Brussels sprout is they smell horrific. If you don't cook them just right, they can taste horrific.
Oh, yeah.
But man, they're so good if you get them just right. And again, sometimes when I go to the local grocery store, which has the section that you can go in, they'll have the Brussels sprouts and the green bean casserole. And if you want a taste treat, you mix them up. But they get a Brussels sprouts that's kind of, you cut them in half. So they're not like the whole round Brussels sprout. They're a semicircular Brussels sprout. And they throw in some bacon, like candy up the bacon, and they cook it with the, it's so good. Oh, the Brussels sprouts and the bacon, it's all together. Even if they're just, you wander into the grocery store, you buy a bag of frozen vegetables, you microwave them.
Mm-hmm.
I will eat a bag of Brussels sprouts. I've literally had that be my dinner.
Yeah.
And as Stephen mentioned, men and women of a certain age, we do occasionally have gastrointestinal idiosyncrasies. And of course, being a cruciferous vegetable, your Brussels sprout can in fact be an issue. But it's generally not a long-term issue. It's more of a everyone hates you for about a half an hour issue. But even so, a really good Brussels sprout, even just a plain Brussels sprout, a vegetable untainted by anything that I would call real food, has made it to my number 3 side dish of top 5. So for those of you at home who drink when Matthew has that one entry that doesn't make any sense at all, it's time to take a drink.
So there's a right way and a wrong way to make Brussels sprouts. Mm-hmm. For years, I had them being made the wrong way, just a soggy, gross, boiled mess.
Right.
And there's 2 ways to make Brussels sprouts, just like there's 2 ways to make asparagus. Number 1, lightly steamed.
Right.
Lightly steamed. Mm-hmm. Number 2, thrown on a pan or a grill or something and just baked or grilled, just throw them in the oven again. Like I mentioned with the sweet potatoes, kind of prepare them that way. Don't overdo it. You don't want them to be soggy. But of all places, the college dormitory was the first time I ever had Brussels sprouts that were cooked correctly. And I was like, what is this taste sensation in my mouth? These things are actually good.
Was this the dormitory that looked like a prison? Yes,
it was the same one that you and I lived in, except I lived in the prison.
Lived in the prison.
I lived in the prison, but the women's dorm is where the cafeteria was. But yeah,
that's true. Yeah.
There you go. Matthew's number 3.
The one that looked like a hospital.
Yeah, the Matthew's number 3 is the Brussels sprout.
The Brussels of sprouting, or as they say in French, les sproto brussels.
Rodrigo, what is your number 3?
My number 3?
Yes, your number 3.
All right. So my number 3, I used to eat fast food a lot more because I was very frequently on the road. I would drive up and down Kansas filming, alfalfa sprouts growing and things like that. So when it came time to eat, I'd very frequently end up either at diners or at, fast food chains. But when I was out, since the company was reimbursing me for food, if they had this on the menu, I would immediately upgrade it from fries to onion rings.
Oh, yeah.
Especially if I ended up at a place that was kind of nice. Because, so you look at it, like if you're driving around probably any state in the United States, you'll see a diner, and on the outside, it looks like something out of Fallout. It's just like the paint's crumbling, the sign is like dilapidated, and sometimes you walk in and the inside looks just like it, and sometimes you walk in and it's actually like really nice inside. Like they're just like putting all their money towards like keeping their stainless steel like counters pristine, So I'm like, oh, this is a place to get onion rings. Mm-hmm. So when I can, I get the onion rings. They're good, they like hold a lot more oil. but they're very salty. But it's like a breaded onion is kind of just an excuse to have an onion.
Yes.
It's like onions are great, but they're very like offensive if they're raw and raw and unaccompanied. But like there's like throughout time there have been people that are like, how can I just eat an onion? And those are the geniuses that gave us pickled onions and of course the onion ring, which is my number 3.
I rarely say anything bad about my wife or make fun of her, but she despises.
That's always a dangerous sentence.
She despises onions. Can't stand them. All onions. She just can't stand onions. And unless they have been, sauteed down or whatever it is that you call it when you, overcook it, caramelize it. Yeah. Unless and even then she doesn't like them, but oh man, offer her some onion rings or the mouth destroying Funyun and she will eat that crap up. And I just don't understand that. She's just like, I like it because it's crunchy and it doesn't have as much of an onion taste. And it's like, you do realize those are like Vidalia onions that are like next to the red onion, one of the strongest onions. And she's like, no, I like these. I can't stand onions, but I like onion rings. So there you go.
What about like those fried onions?
Nope. Nope. She doesn't. On the green bean casserole. Nope. Yeah. Nope. She will make a green bean. So they'll do something at work where they have like a potluck or something and she'll make it. And she'll put the things on there, the onion crunchies on there. But she won't eat it after the onions have been put on there. So it's weird, but What
about stuff that's like seasoned with onion? Like if you make a soup and you just put if I put
a little bit in, you got to be real careful because the minute she tastes it, she's like, the food instantly goes from this is really good to the minute she tastes the onion, she's like, it's okay.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah, it's really weird. It's really weird, but there you go. All right, my number 3 is something that my wife actually enjoys a lot, and that is something that has to be fresh. This is one of those that you cannot get frozen because it's just not the same. But when it comes time to corn harvesting season, you got to find those farmers on the side of the road selling corn on the cob, but not just any corn on the cob, sweet corn on the cob. And the sweeter, the better, because that is when you put a little butter on it and some salt and pepper on it. And sweet corn can be some of the most delicious corn that you will ever rent in your life. It is the best. It is important
to know that as people from a central United States state, we know the difference. I believe that there are people out there who don't realize that all corn is not sweet corn.
Right. You do have popcorn. That's a type of corn. You have regular corn. That's the kind that you usually give to pigs so that they can fatten up, and to cows.
Yeah, the pigs and the cows. Yeah.
And then you have various forms of the sweet corn. But the sweet corn that you get at the side of the road is going to be some of the most delicious side dish items that you will ever have. And after you eat it, you'll be like, oh, that is so good. Is there any more? And then you realize, oh, I only bought 6 ears of the sweet corn on the cob and we've devoured it all. And now when we go back to Farmer Brown at the side of the road, he's already gone and there's been no trace of him, like he was never there.
The store disappeared.
Yeah. Why, Farmer Brown, he died in 1922.
Ghost corn.
But yes.
I just had a great idea for a screenplay.
Is this like the legend of Farmer Brown or something like that?
No, it's just going to be called Ghost Corn.
There we go, Ghost Corn. So that is my number 3 on my top 5 side dishes. And we're going to get to our top 2s in just a moment. But I do want to mention very quickly that if you enjoy the show and everything that we do at Major Spoilers, and you want to get more stuff, even more stuff available to you, then why don't you head over to patreon.com/Major Spoilers and sign up to become a silver member. It's only a couple of bucks a month. And that money goes to making sure that we bring you more shows like this each and every time that we deliver a show. And as I mentioned, you get access to a bunch of bonus content. It's all over there at patreon.com/Major Spoilers. Just take a moment as we're getting through our top 2 here. Take a moment, head over to patreon.com/Major Spoilers. Check out and see what we're trying to do. And if you enjoy this show, become a silver member. It'll really help us out. All right, Matthew, what do you have for number 2?
My number 2, much like Rodrigo's number 3, 4, or 5, I can't remember exactly which one it was, and I'm just going to vamp until I do, is one that I only ever seem to get as an upgrade alongside a hamburger or, something restaurant-y, but not too restaurant-y.
Mm-hmm.
You can't like walk into a McDonald's and get this, but you can go into a place that's like a step up, like
Like an Applebee's.
Yeah, like your burger type places. We live right near a big college town, and you can go, down the main street, and there are little burger places in the corner with a green door and a red sign that says burger. You can go in and you can order your hamburger, and you can upgrade the classic French fry to an order of deep fried mushrooms.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I consider mushrooms to be a vegetable. Now, this is not, in fact, true in a factual sense, but they feel like a vegetable. And this is very important. I am really allergic to spores, molds, and fungus. But for some reason, even though a dose of penicillin will kill me dead, a deep fried mushroom fills me with this sense of fullness and wonder. And it may be
gas.
Well, it may actually be a mild allergic reaction. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like it's in your brain.
Right. Maybe it's the fact that I have them deep fry the red mushrooms with the white spots. But nonetheless, that's not true. Anyway, those give you 6 lives. And I would never run out. The deep fried mushroom, when done really well, is just amazing. There's one place in Lawrence that does almost like a tempura batter.
Yeah.
Not like your standard, like an onion ring thing where it gets kind of crispy, but it has that, that airy poofiness to it. And oh my gosh, they are so good. And if you can get a whole one and you put it in your mouth and it's hot enough to be good and tasty, but not hot enough to strip the flesh from your entire digestive system and burn you from stem to stern. When it's just that wonderful, perfect temperature, that's when you know that you are clinically fatter than holy hell, and you don't care because deep fried mushrooms are your number 2 top 5 side dish.
Do you like the little button mushroom? Is that the one that you like?
It depends, honestly. Usually, I'm not sure what you mean by a button mushroom.
They're just these little tiny, like the kind that you would normally find on a pizza, but a little bit smaller than that, and they're all whole.
Usually, the mushrooms that I get aren't quite that small. Roughly the size of, the cap from a NyQuil bottle.
Mm-hmm.
Like an inch around maybe.
Yeah.
Or, sometimes you'll get the ones that are slashed in half, where you'll get, it's like a full little cartoon mushroom, but cut in half down the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Something that Templeton the rat might find up by the side of the road. But it really does depend, because there is a place that did... Basically, you know how sometimes you go and you buy the little jar of mushrooms and it's just like mushroom caps and stalks and crud.
Mm-hmm.
There's a place here in town that used to just apparently take those and dip them in batter. So you get weird ones that were just like mushroom trunks that were still good. But yeah, I like a fried mushroom no matter how you fry it.
The name of the place was Mushroom Trunks and Junks.
No, it's actually, they had to put it really close to another restaurant. You know why?
Why?
Because there wasn't mushroom.
I wonder. Now, I'm not someone. I've always been curious to go on a mushroom trip. Right?
Yes.
It's always something that I've wanted to do. But most of the
deep fried mushrooms,
finding mushrooms in the wilderness. You mean?
Yes, that kind of trip, Rodrigo. But I've heard that the when you do those kind of mushrooms, the psychedelic mushrooms, that they're usually dried out. They're usually not, fresh, moist psilocybin mushrooms. But I wonder if you could have a deep fried psilocybin mushroom and still have the same psychedelic effect. I'm sure one of our listeners out there has experimented with this and tried this, and will certainly send us an email at podcast@majorspoilers.com, anonymously, of course. I'm just curious if that is a thing or not. So there you go.
But
no?
I don't.
I mean, maybe they don't like the taste of them, but if it was fried.
You don't know. I just, it just seems like they would be expensive, and like, why fry them?
Maybe. I'm just curious.
The question for me is really going to be the chemical melting point.
Right. That's why I'm asking.
Whatever it is that comes into play in either a psilocin or a psilocybin mushroom. If the throwing all that grease in and frying it, if that puts in the bad juju inside your magic mushroom, and you go on a bad trip if you do that. I'm just curious. I'm just asking. Just something that has popped up into my mind a time or two.
Speaking of twos, Rodrigo, what is your number 2?
My number 2 is a prickly pear. Specifically, the prickly pears that come in jars that are like kind of pickled. You will walk past these in, depending how big your supermarket is, either the Hispanic aisle, or if your supermarket is not that big, the ethnic aisle.
Ours have smartened up. It's now just called international foods.
Smart. It used to be. Yeah, it's like if you have a small supermarket, it's right next to the wontons. And underneath you can wash it all down with Pocky.
Yeah, you're making this joke, and I'm like, that is literally
that's how it is.
I'm literally closing my eyes and visualizing my own supermarket. That stuff is all
a Jarritos and then like some udon noodles, and just drink them all together.
Yep, I mean, definitely. Some straight up ramen that has no English writing on it. You just know it's ramen from the picture,
right?
And it's right next to the Fantas. Yeah. Anyway, so this stuff is bitter, green, slimy. It's not a very attractive piece of food, but it's very good. I haven't had them in quite a while because they're actually kind of hard to find up here, and very frequently I'm not thinking to get them. But I mean, they make a great side dish. They complement meat very well. If you're making tacos, you can put it in your tacos. If you've never
cook it into the meat, or you just like cut them up and put them in there?
No, so these will usually just be like, these are already sliced, already peeled, so there's no danger of finding an actual spine or whatever you'd call them. Mm-hmm. These are all pre-sliced. They've been probably at least partially cooked and then put into a kind of a brine. Although it's not like a hard brine like a pickle, it's just kind of something to preserve them. Probably just mostly salt. And so you can just open the jar and just like pour them right out. So if you're looking for them, they're probably called either nopales or nopalitos. Mm-hmm. That's probably what you'll see them as, because I don't think there's like some stuff where it's like, some stuff will be like, this is what an American would think about this, but much like the ramen that doesn't have any English writing with like prickly pear, they're like, Americans don't want this. We'll just save it. We'll just save the money and keep the only Spanish label.
Yes.
Prickly pears, if you get a chance to try them, I'm not guaranteeing the experience. I think if you haven't had them since you were a little baby like I did, they're probably an acquired taste.
Yeah. I'll be honest. There are only 2 foods that I eat that are pickled. The rest I just avoid, just because I don't like the name of something pickled, because I instantly think of, pickles, because that is a pickled cucumber. Yes, I will eat those. That's not a problem. And the other one is pickled okra. If I can find a good pickled okra, I will have that. But if you said, hey, have some pickled onions, or have some pickled prickly pears, or have pickled pig's feet, I'm like, no, that sounds too weird. I don't want to gnaw on a knuckle of a pig that tastes like a pickle. And I know that's not the case, but it's just, anything that is, unless it's a pickle or an okra, I will not be eating anything with the word pickle in the name.
Never had a pickled egg?
I think I may have had one once, and I really didn't like it. That, or I was really drunk and didn't care.
That's the thing. Pickled eggs, you're generally drunk, because I actually encountered pickled eggs in the bar where I grew up.
Yeah.
And they were always, and I think it's the same jar forever. They were always back there, and you could get like a burger.
That's why they're so good.
Eggs. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're like 57 years old.
I've had plenty of pickled eggs, and while sober even. And the first time I had them, I was like, wow, this is really gross. And then I realized that when you put a boiled egg and you pickle it, it reverses its like it reverses its qualities.
Right.
So everything that makes a pickled egg disgusting is why they're good.
Mhm.
Like, it's like, here's an egg that's sour. For some reason, that's good. And it's like, oh, here's like a weird pocket of brine inside of an egg. Sounds disgusting. Actually great. Yeah.
And you get this lovely texture on the white of the meaty part of the egg. So
It turns black.
anything
It's been in there so long.
anything pickled, I'm really kind of good for, because there's usually like olives or pickled okra or something
sure.
on my grocery list. But if you really want to just go completely nuts, are you ready?
Sure.
Pickled mushrooms, baby.
Yeah, pickled mushrooms are great. I mean,
Yeah.
I love pickled stuff. I used to get pickled mushrooms. I used to just eat pickled onions out of the jar.
Mm.
Yeah.
Like they're, it just like changes the thing.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
there
the
you go.
and I guess
bonus top 5 real quick. Top 5 pickled things.
yes. And I guess the reason why is because, the first time I eat okra, it was already pickled. So I only know the taste. Well, not only know the taste of a pickled okra because I've had fried okra, but you get used to that. That is the quote unquote default taste, just like a pickle or, the cucumber. That's the default taste of a pickle. And so when you think about egg and then you think about pickle and you try to, or onion or whatever, it's just like those two flavors don't sound like they're going to match together. So I don't know. That's why I've avoided it. Not saying I don't like it. I'm just saying that I don't care for it. I guess I don't care
Honestly,
to try it.
That's probably good. Pickled stuff is not
yeah.
particularly good for you.
Yeah,
so.
no. Yeah. All right. My number 2 is also something that the family refuses to eat. Although the oldest is starting to occasionally will request, Dad, can you pick up some baked beans? Now, the kind of baked beans that I like have a little bit of sweetness. It's the sweet baked beans with bacon in it.
Mhm.
And then the molasses, that's what makes it sweet. And I really like those kind of baked beans as opposed to sometimes you can get the hot, the spicy kind of baked beans. I don't care for those. And I don't care for the one with the talking dog beans. I don't like those. But the molasses with bacon baked beans that you can get again at a good deli section in your grocery store, those are really good. Now, myself, I love eating those cold. Because that's a picnic food, right? That's something that you have in a picnic, and picnic foods are generally chilled.
Plus, they're already cooked out of the can.
Exactly. But yes, pair it exactly with the potato salad, and that is some good eats right there. But when my son does eat them, or if my wife, wrinkles her nose and go, I guess I'll have a bite. They want them warm, and they think it's weird that I will just eat them right out of the container, cold out of the refrigerator. It's so good. But number 2, baked beans. On my top 5 side dishes. Yeah. All right. We have made it all the way up to our number 1s. Matthew, let her rip.
All right. So here's the deal. Occasionally I come to a really great answer. It's a number 1. And I just know that I'm going to get a response at the end that says, that doesn't fit the list. Rodrigo, what have you got? And I feel like this is going to happen, but I want to make it clear today that this should not happen.
Should we just move to Rodrigo's now then?
No, we should not.
That being said, Rodrigo, what is your number 1? Pizza. Pizza is not a side dish.
I am here to lawyer you.
Pizza is not a side dish.
Shut up. Okay, so here's the deal. Now that I have a child old enough to cook, she is learning certain dishes that she's really good at. One of the dishes she's really good at is something that we like to call squoodles. It's noodles made of squash, or sometimes zoodles for a zucchini.
Yeah, that sounds like
a nice red sauce. And you maybe throw in some, pseudo meat product because she doesn't eat meat. And as a side dish for this quasi pasta with sort of noodles and sort of meatballs, the side dish is a really nice loaf of garlic bread.
So here's the thing. Bread is technically a side dish.
There you go.
Because it is something that you put on a dish, a small plate next to your main plate.
I just stop listening.
No. I double checked because my number 1 is also bread related. And I was like, oh, man, I got to make sure that this is actually considered a side dish. And yes, I looked it up. Bread is considered a side dish.
I just prefer to wing it. I just like to wing that mother. Sometimes just going along and you're like, here's 10 superheroes. And
yeah, see, it's different. It's different when you say, oh, Stephen, I'm going to put pizza as my side dish and you can't do anything about it.
I never said that. That's the 4th time you've made that joke and I never did.
But, okay.
I mean, to be fair,
here's the thing.
I've been to I've been to barbecue places
Yeah.
where I'm like, I would like the brisket, please. And they're like, what side would you like? And they point to a sign, and one of the sides is sausage.
Yeah.
Yes.
But you're not the one getting all the emails from people saying, how can you let Matthew get away with putting apple pie as his side dish?
How could you do this?
Yeah.
What?
But I want to see those.
What if it was like meat pie? Could you have meat pie as a side dish, or that's like a?
See,
I think that's a meal, right? I think that's a meal.
And that's like a what do you like
or
a
dessert
main course? Is that what we would call the?
In England, you have like a meat pie, and then you have your sausage, and then you have, I don't know, like a cup of tea or something.
What about caviar?
Yeah. See,
that would be an appetizer. I would put that as an appetizer.
I don't know.
Anyway,
But
garlic bread, Matthew.
My number one, your garlic bread. And here's the thing. I'm kind of what they refer to in the Epicurean world as a dilettante, or occasionally a schmuck, in that I like the garlic bread that you can walk into the Dillons, and it comes in a long aluminum foil bag, and you take it. It's already buttered on both sides. You take that sucker and you throw it in the oven.
Sliced.
It's already sliced in half. Yeah.
Then you just hack off a chunk, and it's just like pure fat and salt. And you're just like, oh, this is so good. This is so good. And sometimes you'll just have a small portion of the pasta or the pseudo pasta or whatever you want to call it, squoodles, if you'd like to call it that. It sounds gross, but it's fun to say. So, but you get like a hunk of garlic bread, the length of your forearm, and you just eat the garlic bread. And oh my gosh, it's so good. And I was so mad at the Scott Pilgrim movie when they're like, bread makes you fat. Bread does not make you fat, my friends. Eating too much of the bread might make you fat. Eating as much of the bread as I do certainly could make you fat, but it will also make you very, very happy, because a nice garlic bread is like, I don't know, it's that moment, you know, your first kiss. Sure, that was okay, but garlic bread, you guys. You remember that feeling when you walked down the aisle and you saw your wife standing there in the white gown, or your husband? I don't know. I don't judge. Here's the thing. You walk down that aisle and you see your person down there and you're like, yeah, that's an amazing feeling. But garlic bread, you guys, seriously, I have a 15-year-old child upstairs, and I fondly remember the day that she was born. But garlic bread, you know what I'm saying? I
hear you.
Putting it out
there. Rodrigo, what do you have for your number one? Is it also bread related?
It is not. I have to take it a step back to beans.
Oh, okay.
Because my number one is actually black beans.
Oh, there you go.
And so this comes down to the real surprising thing is it's hard to find black beans in restaurants.
It is.
Like if you go to a Mexican place, you will usually get refried beans by default, and they might have like brown type beans and like a sauce, but it's actually pretty hard to find black beans nowadays. About the only place outside of my house where I have black beans is at like burrito places, because they will do black beans in your burrito. But if we lived in a magic land and I could go to a McDonald's or a Burger King or something, order a burger, and they told me, would you like black beans with that? I would always say yes. And I was like, I think it's a great side.
It's healthy for you too.
It is, unless you get the canned ones that
full of nitrates
that do not say low sodium, because those are just immensely salty. They're good, but yes, black beans are very good for you. Black beans and rice together are fantastic. They're a meal unto themselves. As a side note, I was going to have rice on here, but then I realized that growing up in Mexico, like rice is more like a medium than it is like a side. Like most of the time, things will be either next to rice or on a bed of rice. So it's like
a vehicle.
Yeah. Rice is actually more like tortillas than it is like beans, I think. But yeah, I mean, a side of black beans is pretty much what I always want with any given meal, even if I'm not actively thinking about it. If like I'm like serving myself something in the kitchen and I see that we have a can of black beans, I'll very likely just crack that open and put it in a dish, throw it in the microwave, and then just eat that.
So do you wash off your black beans when you get them out of the can to get off some of that saltiness?
No. I usually just buy I buy the low sodium ones, and then just like kind of like filter out some of the extra
juice
sauce.
Yeah,
just like let some of it run out, not all of it, because you still want some in there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's a lot of work to get something out of a can and then like, put it in like a
strainer,
yeah, and like wash it off or whatever, and then now it's like wet with like actual water. It's like back when I lived in Kansas,
and you just run the water into the can. See,
back when I lived in Kansas, if I ran water over something, I would actually be putting more sodium onto it.
It's very true.
The water back where I lived was so hard.
How hard was it?
The water back where I lived was so hard that I wouldn't even have to put it in the freezer to give it to you in cubes.
There you go.
Nice. Where I come from, occasionally you can ignite the water.
Yeah. There's been those issues, especially where fracking concerns. Hey, Steven's getting political. Why don't we get to his number one? My number one, as I mentioned, is bread related. It is the dinner roll. And some very specific kinds of dinner rolls, because growing up, I thought my grandmother, every Thanksgiving and every Christmas, I thought she made the most delicious dinner rolls in the world. And I'd look forward to those all the time, to be like, Grandma, did you make dinner rolls? And she'd be like, yes, I did. And then one year she forgot to make the dinner rolls. And she said, can someone run over to the store and pick up the dinner rolls? And that's when I found out that the Brown's dinner rolls were her secret dinner rolls that she had been serving me for 15 years. But the Brown's,
everything is a lie.
I know, right? The Brown's dinner rolls are really good if you can get a nice little, if you warm them up and you can get a little crust on top, the crust gets a little hard. I like that a lot. The other thing besides the Brown's dinner rolls are the Hawaiian rolls. Oh my gosh. Yes. When it comes to rolls here at this house, that's the only kind that we will buy are the Hawaiian, King's Hawaiian rolls, because they are so good. And if you've never had a King's Hawaiian roll, do yourself a favor and go and get them. If you're a fan of ham sandwiches, the King's Company, they make a Hawaiian. It's not really a Hawaiian roll bread, but it's the Hawaiian roll as a hamburger bun. And it's delicious with the ham. But, oh, man, the King's Hawaiian rolls and the Brown's dinner rolls are my two favorite things. And I've been watching some recipes.
Is that like a yeast roll that has to rise?
No, I don't know, because they're already pre-made, right?
Oh.
So it's just kind of like the brown and serve kind of things. And the King's Hawaiian rolls, it's like you just pull them off and just eat them, right out of the bag.
Yeah. They actually make King's Hawaiian bread in loaves now.
Yeah, they do that too. Yeah. But the Brown's rolls, sometimes they come frozen, but the ones that my grandmother used to have were always, I think they may have been in the frozen section, but you just put them on a pan and you brown them up, and the top gets nice and brown and the bottom gets nice and crusty, and they are a yeast roll. So that's good. I think most breads have yeast in them except for a hardtack or a cracker or an unleavened bread kind of thing. But I'm learning to make some just plain rolls and breads that are hard on the outside, but nice and soft on the inside. And it's just flour, water, and a little bit of yeast. And you just roll those things out and pop them in the oven. And they're really good. Spray them with water on top to get that nice hard crust. And those dinner rolls are really good. So yes, Matthew will eat a whole garlic loaf to himself, or at least half of one to himself.
The top half.
Top half, because that's the one where the butter sticks.
That's where the most of the butter is, yeah.
But
you get more bread ratio in there.
For me, if you leave a bag of King's Hawaiian rolls on the counter and say, now, Stephen, I have to run to the store to get some ham or something, or I have to go take the kids to the basketball or whatever, don't eat those King's Hawaiian rolls. I'm going to wait for that door to close. And when you come home, you might find an empty bag where the King's Hawaiian rolls used to be.
Stephen hiding in the corner.
Yep. Just going,
like, sorry, Stephen, I forgot my keys. Already gone.
Yeah. Oh, my stomach. I'm going to be over here sleeping this off. Yeah. The dinner rolls,
now I'm
my number one.
Stephen as a mischievous Cocker Spaniel just running around the house. Mrs. Schleicher comes back in the house.
And I'm just sitting there normally.
With the bag in his mouth, running across the floor.
No, I'm just sitting there when she looks. I'm just sitting there nice and calm. And she turns around and bouncing off the walls, trying to get the King's Hawaiian rolls. There you go. There are our top 5 side dishes for this episode of Top 5. This was a suggestion from one of our people over in our Discord. Yes, we do have a Discord server, and we'd love for you to come over and join in the conversation. There's channels for sports, there's channels for art, there's channels for all of the podcasts that we do. And in fact, as I mentioned earlier, if you become a patron, you can connect your Patreon account to the Discord and get access to super secret channels that are only available to our patrons. But if you want to know where our Discord is, look in the show notes, whether you're on an iPhone or an iPod or whatever your mobile device is. You can find a link in the show notes there, or if you're over at majorspoilers.com and listening, there's a link in the show notes there as well that will launch that Discord server for you, and you can come hang out with all the cool kids and maybe even make a suggestion for a future top 5. Why would you want to do that? I think it's pretty obvious. Everyone loves a list.
This podcast is copyright 2020 by Major Spoilers Entertainment, LLC.